Hey guys, glad to be back. We had a good trip, a great experience for our young men and coaches and support staff and whoever was fortunate enough to come over there. You would have been amazed at the amount of alumni, parents, families that were fortunate enough to come over there and watch our guys play. We had a great section of purple and gray. It was really, if we're playing at Northwestern State or Stephen F. Austin, it would have been a great number, much less Hawaii. So just really want to thank those individuals for making that trip and making that work. Before I start talking a little bit about the game, I want to say thank you and give a shout out to a couple people. This putting a 4-day trip with a party of over 100 people is not easy to do. And Gunnar Boykin, our offensive line coach, well, he also dual roles as our director of football operations, and that's not easy. You know, when you're talking about 3 meals a day, 3 snacks a day, team activities, getting on the Pearl Harbor buses, concert, whatever it is, he just did a great job. I told Gunnar on the plane ride back, I said, man, it's kind of ironic that you're leaving Hawaii and it's time for you to have a vacation, because I'm telling you that he was on, just on point. And everything went very smooth, very organized. I thought Dalton Withrow, our equipment manager, did a great job of working his staff and organizing. I mean, you're talking about taking a whole football team and basically taking it over the ocean to an island, and that's not easy to do. And Dave Strickland and his staff with our athletic training, just the whole board, Steve and Josh and Matt Whiting and Daryl, all of them just pitched in. Grab bags when they need to grab bags. We weren't able to have the amount of staff we usually have there, so people are having to dual role and do some things that they're not normally doing. So just collectively a great effort with our coaching staff and support staff, and it obviously allowed our players to have a great student athlete experience, and that's what it's about. Now, disappointed, very disappointed. I said last week, and I still hold this statement, that was probably one of the more talented personnel teams we played in the last couple of years. I mean, when you talk about from top to bottom, that quarterback, those receivers, number 6 and number 9, the defensive backfield, number 3 is one of the best safeties in the country. I mean, he's like projected as a second-round draft pick. But I wish I had another shot at him. And I'm going to take a lot of the blame. And when I say that, I didn't have us ready to go early enough. I think we were still playing a little bit on island time when we started that game. And that's probably my fault. I should have found a way to find a practice field there when we got there Thursday. I opted to do some walkthroughs and meeting times instead. Just logistically made more sense. I should have pressed the envelope. We should have went out there and sweated on Thursday when we got out there. That's probably my fault. Once we got adjusted, once we started playing, you saw we could play toe-to-toe with those guys. I mean, they're a good football team. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I talked to their coach before and after the game, and just so complimentary about our team. Not only before but after, the way we fought and doing all those things. But they're a good football team, and I would love to have a shot at them again. And I told our guys after the game, there's nothing to hang your head about the way we went over there and represented UCA, because I'm going to tell you this: there's not a better home field advantage when you go play, on the island against the University of Hawaii, and your time clock says it's 11 o'clock and you're finishing the game at 2:30. That's tough. That's tough. They could have played the game at 3, but at their time, and at least gave us a chance to be at like 9 o'clock or something, or 8 o'clock. But our guys adjusted and they fought till the end. What could have happened when you go down 28-0 is us roll over and just let it happen. And that's not what we did. And that's obviously a testament to, one, our coaches for believing and continuing to make adjustments, to our players. They buckled down, made some adjustments, and they said, hey, we can't do this. And I went up and down the sideline at one point in the middle of the second quarter, and I just looked every one of them in the eyes, and I said, we got a choice to make. We can sit here and continue to do this, which we know isn't UCA football, or we can battle back chip by chip. You're not going to get it all in one play. And let's get this back to a 4-quarter game, which absolutely happened if you watch the game. We had our chances in the 4th quarter to really make it interesting. Unfortunate play of the game probably was the first drive interception, pick six. My thought process was, as good as their offense was, I was trying to steal a series. We were at 4th and 2, midfield. I was going to go for it and be aggressive. I had to be aggressive. You've got to push the envelope to beat allegedly a superior team than you, but two, a team like that on the road that has that high-powered offense. And unfortunately, it was a pretty good throw by Braylon based on where the defender was. Tyler Hudson just kind of bobbled it up, tipped it up right into the guy's hands, and that's luck of football. It just happens. You take that play away, and you take away a late touchdown, and our defense gave up 21 points to a team that was averaging almost like 600 yards of offense. Our defense gave up 400 yards of offense to one of the best offenses in the country. So I think we've got a lot to build on, a lot to grow from. Very pleased with the way guys played. I think we missed Juan Jackson a little bit in the first half. He was suspended with the he's our all-conference boundary safety. Thought Cameron Godfrey played very good in his presence or his absence. But Juan is kind of the quarterback of our defense, gets our back end set up. And when you don't have your quarterback of your back end when you're playing a team that throws it 60 times a game for the first half, that's tough. But we adjusted. We made the proper movements. Leandre Rush stepped up, like Steve said, led the team in tackles. That's a new number. You continue to see new numbers making plays. That's what we like to see. But pleased to get the run game going. I know a lot of people's asked about that. They decided to play a lot of 3 high safety stuff. The shell was conducive not to throw the football deep. They weren't going to let LaJuan beat them. They weren't going to let Tyler beat them. They weren't going to let us get behind them. I mean, you saw we took some shots, but they've got a good secondary, and they trust those guys, and they played off coverage, so we had to throw a lot of underneath stuff, but it also opened up the running attack for Carlos and our offensive line and tight ends. Tight ends and fullbacks had more catches than they had all year because of that. So we did a good job. We just didn't get the ball in the end zone enough when the times mattered. But I'll take 3-1, 1-0 right now. We've got a lot of momentum going into the bye week. It's going to be an important week for us. Our guys, our first bus got in at 9:30 this morning. Our second bus, if y'all just turned around a minute ago, you just seen corpses walking out of there. But they just walked in. So our whole team's back safe and sound in Conway. And we're going to have 3 good practices tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday. Very good developmental days for us. A lot of times during the bye week, coaches like to really focus in on the guys that aren't getting a lot of focus during prep weeks. So your redshirt freshmen, your guys that maybe aren't playing as much. So we'll spend a lot of time with our developmental guys, get some extra lifts in for our travel guys and guys that are playing on Saturdays. We'll steal a prep day on Thursday as well for Nichols. So that'll give us a stolen day, and Sunday night will give us a stolen day where Nichols is getting ready for Texas State. We're fortunate enough to spending a couple extra days on them. So that's going to be an advantage to us moving into that game, obviously, and then the help. And then we'll also get out. We'll have probably 4 coaches get out on the road Wednesday through Friday as well. Take advantage of this time to go see some of our recruits, go continue to touch those guys or talk to coaches and do some different things. So a big week for us. Hey, Peter told me, going into the bye week we could be 3-1. I'd have probably took it every time. Obviously, I don't want to be a loser, but that's we've met every challenge face to face, head on. And I told the guys after the game, this has the potential to be a pretty special team. I think you can see that. I think you can. When you travel 4,000 miles and you go toe to toe with a team that's 3-1 too, and they beat 2 Pac-12 teams. I mean, you've got a shot. So we've got to stay humble. We've got to continue to correct mistakes. We can't let this loss beat us 2 weeks in a row. This is new territory for this team this year. And we've been feeling good, 3-0. Now we've got a loss under our belt. Now it's my job to teach us how to react to a loss in the proper way. And we'll make sure that we handle that in the proper way. And just last thing I want to do before I take any questions, if there is any, is I want to compliment our players. I can't tell you, I'm probably on the plane ride back over through text, email. I bet I've got 10 different messages from people I know, some random people from the islands radio network, a TV network, complimenting our players and how they reacted and responded and how they handled themselves, because you're not necessarily in a place conducive for decision making, in Hawaii when you're there for 4 days. But I thought our guys handled themselves like grown men, like we would expect them to, and how we would expect them to represent our logo. They did a great job of that. So I want to make sure I compliment them. And when you see them guys, make sure you pat them on the back and tell them thanks, because that's not easy for some of them kids. But they did a good job of that. And very pleased with that. Also, President Davis was able to basically hang out with the team. So I took care of President Davis. He did go skydiving. I didn't go with him, but he was basically a part of our party. Traveling party. I mean, he went to walkthroughs, practice, meetings, all of the above with us, and I think he had a great experience with that. And that was fun to be able to expose him to what we do on a day in and day out basis. But